Deadly flooding is devastating communities across 3 states, with lives lost, homes washed away, roads swallowed whole. Thanks for joining us on Spin Room today. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Look at this devastation in Texas. Heavy rains turned the Guadalupe River into a rushing river. Over 100 lives lost there during the 4th of July holiday weekend. Several counties have declared disasters as first responders race to the rescue. By now, they say in Texas, families are still holding out hope as rescue efforts have now become recovery efforts. To the west, parts of New Mexico are also underwater. Flash floods there tearing through canyons and small towns. Emergency crews say the water rose in minutes, leaving little time to escape. Then you're also looking at footage from North Carolina. Torrential downpours there triggered landslides and widespread flooding. Roads are impassable. Thousands are without power. As always, our thoughts and prayers remain with the families impacted by this historic flooding in 3 states. Governors in all 3 states urging caution to residents. President Trump and First Lady Melania will be visiting Texas on Friday, and we'll have full coverage on their visit at the end of the week. Now to Washington, D.C., where President Trump hosted a lunch today with African leaders. Our Kara Castronova is live outside the White House with more. Kara, what can you tell us?
Hey, Vanessa. President Trump, as you mentioned, hosted that meeting with those 5 African leaders from 5 smaller countries in Africa. Those countries are Liberia, Mauritania, Guinea-Bissau, Gabon, and Senegal. 5 important countries the president believes in the America First agenda moving forward. And we have some clips from those meetings. But first, if you guys could just pop up that article, that Brookings article entitled Prosperity and Power, Trump's Selective U.S.-Africa Summit and the Race with China. Really a great summary. I thought I've read a lot about this subject matter this morning, and this is really a great article, really describing why this meeting is so important. And it goes on to say, in President Trump's first major diplomatic move with Africa during his return to the White House, he's set to welcome these 5 leaders, and these 5 leaders will meet, obviously, and they met today for these discussions and a working lunch. And the U.S. has made it clear that it seeks partnership grounded in mutual economic benefit, especially in trade, investment, and critical minerals. While the emphasis might appear to be strictly economic, the summit reflects a broader strategic ambition of reasserting U.S. power and influence in a region where rivals have surged ahead, rivals being China and Russia that have really made inroads with a lot of the African nations like South Africa, like Ethiopia. President Trump really turning to these 5 nations because they're not really involved with BRICS. They're smaller countries. They're really rich in rare earth minerals that are so necessary nowadays for electronics, in gold, in oil and gas, and all of these things that the president wants to trade agreements is what the president is looking for. USAID obviously was canceled to a lot of these nations, these 5 included. And the president's mission is to make them more self-reliant, not so reliant on aid from the United States, but more self-sufficient so that they can do business with the United States in an agreement that is mutually beneficial. These countries are also important, Vanessa, because a lot of migrants from Africa first go to these countries because a lot of them are on the coastline, and then from there they go to Venezuela or to other parts of Central America, then come up through the border. So the president wanting to cooperate with them there on not letting those migrants sort of come to the United States illegally from different parts of Africa, and also work with them on counterterrorism measures. So a lot on the plate here from these 3, what people are saying, these 5 nations that are small but very important for the president's agenda. And the president received a lot of praise today from the leaders of these nations, saying that he should receive a Nobel Peace Prize for everything that he's done around the world, for being a pacifist and anti-war president, for the peace that he helped with in regards to Pakistan and India, in regards to Kosovo and Serbia, and the Congo as well. So a lot of praise from these leaders who were saying, although they may be small nations, they are also very much rich in rare earth minerals and ready to come to the table with trade agreements.
Yes, and it's great.
And we do,
to
Vanessa,
hear
also
from those
too.
other
I have
countries
a clip.
who come out and say who come out and say they support President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, because he doesn't really get that from his home country. A lot of MAGA, of course, believes that he does, but when it comes to the government, it it's a lot of backlash for him. So to hear it from other countries is great. I'm sorry, I missed what you just said, Kara. Can you repeat that?
Oh, I have a clip for you, actually, of some of one of these leaders, actually two of them, but the Mauritania president, Mohamed Ghazouani, really just praising the president. And this was through a translator. The reporters today that were there in this luncheon wore translator headsets, and so did President Trump and all of the other leaders, because there were so many languages going on in the rooms, possibly 4 or 5 different African languages. So that was very interesting to see the reporters and the delegation pass by from Africa. It's always exciting to see reporters from other continents literally here at the White House. But here is a clip from the African president talking about President Trump and what a peaceful president he is.
He's already working very hard in favor of peace throughout the world, with no distinction, no regard to what continent it's on, and he's working on areas where there are tensions everywhere, and he's committed towards peace, and our world needs more peace.
Right. So there was that translator translating on behalf of the Mauritania president. And then President Trump also spoke, and this again was translated to the African presidents, on why the United States closed USAID. Obviously, that was to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse. A lot of findings came out of DOGE and this administration that a lot of the money that was being given over to these African nations and countries in Asia and around the world actually weren't going to the people. They were going into the pockets of NGOs and other government bureaucrats. So that's very unfortunate. But here is President Trump talking about closing USAID and eliminating waste pertaining to these nations.
And trade seems to be a foundation that I've been able to settle a lot of these disputes, like as an example, India and Pakistan. Kosovo, Serbia. I said, you guys are going to fight, we're not going to trade. And we seem to be quite successful in doing that. To that end, we have closed the USAID group to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, which was tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse. And we're working tirelessly to forge new economic opportunities involving both the United States and many African nations. There's great economic potential in Africa, like few other places in many ways. In the long run, this will be far more effective and sustainable and beneficial than anything else that we can be doing together.
And just the response, Vanessa, from these African leaders to President Trump wanting to forge new economic opportunities rather than just giving away free money, I think was really received in a good way. These leaders obviously want to be self-sustainable. They want their economies to improve. They don't want to rely on the United States and the West for dollars. So I think that that is really welcome and really respected by these African leaders. This is the way to go, the president believes. And then the Senegal president, again, really just praising President Trump on his mission to bring peace to the world, and his him being a pacifist, Vanessa, really was the word that these leaders used to describe the president. I guess that's his reputation outside of the United States, in Africa, in Asia, and all of these other continents, as a president who really wants world peace. That's the gist I got from this meeting that I listened to with the president. So please listen to the president of Senegal commending President Trump for his commitment to peace throughout the world.
I also wanted to commend you for your commitment to peace throughout the world and the incredible diplomatic success that you had with the DRC, as my colleagues mentioned. You said that this put an end to a long war that claimed many lives, and thankfully you were here to put an end to this 30-year war. I also wanted to express that Africa supports all efforts to bring back peace to Sudan, Libya, and in the Sahel. Mr. President, as you've seen, you can only do business when there is peace and security, and you build peace everywhere in the world so that there can be better investments. The entire world is grateful to you for this.
So again, praise for the president, who said also at the end of that meeting that he is interested in actually visiting Africa. future, and he would love to do that. So that is something that is to be expected maybe in the next year. And in other news, we got to actually speak to Missouri State Secretary of State Denny Hoskins, who is a friend of Mike Lindell, yesterday outside of the White House. We interviewed him. He was here actually in town, Vanessa, and this is something that's really been largely ignored by the mainstream media, is this administration's effort to secure our elections and to obviously get rid of the voting machines, to go back to paper ballots, to clean up the voter rolls. And this gentleman, this Missouri Secretary of State, really was here meeting with administrators and again being ignored by the mainstream media. But this is important meetings going on in Washington, D.C. regarding election security. Please take a listen to our interview yesterday with Denny Hoskins. Hey everybody, Kara Castronova from LindellTV here in Washington, D.C. with the Secretary of State of Missouri,
yes,
Denny Hoskins,
yes,
who is a big fighter for election integrity and is not a fan of voting machines and is
right.
a fan of not mail-in ballots but paper ballots,
yes,
which is important. Why are you here today in Washington, D.C.?
You know, learning more about the election process as well as the election integrity. What we're trying to do is make sure that we're compliant with Trump's election executive order. And so we had some meetings today with fellow state lawmakers from Missouri. It's Missouri Lawmaker Day or Missouri State Leadership Day here at the Capitol. And so just had a lot of discussions and meetings talking about election integrity.
So from what I understand, Missouri is already a paper ballot state.
Yes, yes. And so when Trump issued his emergency or his election order regarding elections, there's some things in the state of Missouri we already do. One of those things is paper ballots. Paper ballots are already the official state ballot in the state of Missouri. There's some things that would require legislative action, like requiring proof of citizenship in order to register to vote. And then there's some things that I can probably do as with an executive order Secretary of State. So just kind of working on those things. It was interesting. You know, we got a lot of different updates about a lot of different things, whether it's law and order, whether it's commerce, whether it's energy. But the first one that they brought up was talking about election integrity. That's how important it is to President Trump.
It's really important. I know he's against the voting machines. President Trump is. What is the problem you find? I know that you're against the voting machines with those machines.
Yes, I have a lot of concerns about the voting machines, and what we've seen is they can be easily manipulated. And so as a state senator in Missouri, I actually filed bills in order to mandate hand counting in the state of Missouri. It's already in state statute. We used to do that before election machines. However, unfortunately, those bills didn't go anywhere in the Missouri legislature. And so right now, only the county clerks or the legislature can mandate hand counting in the state of Missouri. And so we're doing everything that we can within my power as Secretary of State to make sure that our elections are fair, that they're secure, and they're accurate. And some of those things include auditing the voter rolls. Since January 13th of this year,
So he goes. That interview goes on, and Vanessa, if any of your viewers that want to watch it in full, please go to the LindellTV account on X and check that out. A lot more interesting stuff he had to say about over 150,000 ineligible voters have already been removed in Missouri, including 18,000 deceased and 1,700 felons. And he also backs Marjorie Taylor Greene's push to exclude illegal aliens from census counts and says Missouri is now matching its roles with federal non-citizen database, and spoke very highly of Mike Lindell towards the end of this interview. Keep up the great work, Mike Lindell, is what he had to say, and also spoke on possibly the state attorney general of Missouri suing New York or California for diluting the Electoral College because they basically have no election security measures in place. So it was an interesting interview, and I would encourage all of your viewers to check that out on LindellTV's X account.
Sounds good. Kara, thank you so much for that report. And this is a perfect time to remind everyone that you can go to mypillowtrial.com. Mike Lindell is in the process of appealing part of his case in the Colorado trial that he just completed. So if you go to mypillowtrial.com, you can donate any amount there. When we come back, a BOGO sale on ivermectin, a life-saving drug. As you know, how you can shop the sale on allfamilypharmacy.com. That's here next on Spin Room. Don't miss the interview when we come back.
The last time President Trump was in office, gold soared 50% and silver went up a huge 53%. Americans who invested in silver and gold during Donald Trump's first presidency are very happy that they did it. And right now, gold continues to soar to the highest numbers in history. These gains are just an appetizer for what's to come. Some market analysis are saying that gold is predicted to rise another 30% in the next year alone. So now's the time to invest in gold and silver, and that's why I partnered with Fisher Liberty Gold. Fisher Liberty Gold is a conservative-owned and operated precious metals investment company. They even helped my good friend President Trump get elected through their contributions to Turning Point USA and other conservative groups. I have dedicated my life to ensuring that people get the best sleep ever, and in addition to owning a MyPillow, I can now sleep well at night knowing that you can all protect your savings with precious metals with Fisher Liberty Gold. With Fisher Liberty Gold, you can sleep well knowing that your retirement is secure. And if you call now, you're going to receive your very own presidential gold guide and qualify for up to $20,000 in free silver. But wait, there's more. Call now or text metals to 26786 to receive your presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty. And for a limited time, I will send you a free MyPillow for qualified accounts. This presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty will tell you exactly why you need to own gold even while Donald Trump is president. And just by calling in, you get a free MyPillow for a limited time for qualified accounts and up to $20,000 in free silver. So don't wait. Call 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today. That's 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today to receive your free MyPillow and up to $20,000 in free silver.
Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, those are life-saving drugs in emergency situations, and there's a big sale on these drugs at All Family Pharmacy. We have Michael Kinsler with us here today to talk about the sale. Michael Kinsler, so good to have you here on the show with us. Let's talk about these drugs first. They're so important, and they've saved so many people from COVID to cancer. Tell us about the benefits.
Yeah, so ivermectin obviously has been around for 30 plus years, won the Nobel Prize. It's a very safe and effective drug. There's very little side effects that are, there are a few that are rare, but when it came to COVID, they were finding it as some type of antiviral properties where it was actually suppressing the viral cells. So it was not allowing the viral cells to duplicate in the system. So a lot of our patients were taking it for COVID, and it was preventing the long-term side effects of COVID or even hospitalization. We did it for since 2020 to 2024 with COVID, and now we're jumping into the new realm, which is now the anti-cancer properties that we're starting to see. There's not a lot of clinical trials on it. Nobody wants to do the trials. Nobody wants to battle big pharma. But we give patients that ability to come to our pharmacy to test it out, to see if it's something that helps them. And we've got a number of success stories from a lot of our patients with it.
Right, and so you have this big sale going on right now because there is this push now, this movement, I guess, of lack of better terms, where people are really waking up to how successful these medicines are. And so you have people like myself who have these medicines at home just in case, knock on wood, I hope there's not, there's some sort of emergency situation that you have it at your disposal. So people can go to allfamilypharmacy.com. Tell us about the BOGO sale you have going on right now.
Yeah, so we have the buy one, get one free sale. Every capsule or tablet of the hydroxychloroquine, the ivermectin, or the mebendazole, you purchase one, we give you one for free. So essentially, it's almost like a 50% off sale, but you have to purchase one to get one for free. It's on new orders only. It's not on the refills. It's just a legality thing that we have to do. It's a pretty easy process. You go to our website and you can choose how many capsules you want, and we'll double your order for free. It's a sale we started about 1.5 years ago, and it's gained popularity. The only negative part about the sale could be the time that you could receive it. Normally, our shipping times are within 1 to 3 business, our processing is within 1 to 3 business days. Sometimes with a sale like that, It could be as far back as 5 business days. But the great part about using our pharmacy, you give us a call and you need it expedited, we're always going to try to push you to the front of the line for those who truly need the medicine right now. But these type of sales, we encourage our patients to purchase it for future use, for whatever the inevitable that comes. We want you to be proactive, not reactive when it comes to a medication like this.
Yes, play offense, not defense. Allfamilypharmacy.com, again, is the website. Ivermectin really became known for a lot of Americans during COVID. And I want to bring this up to you that there are several major medical organizations that have filed a lawsuit against HHS, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., just yesterday, or Monday that is, just this week, over what they're calling unlawful unilateral vaccine changes. Robert F. Kennedy was brought on board to make America healthy again, and that's what Americans voted for. And so here you have these companies who are suing them. What are your thoughts on this?
We're big on medical freedom, right? We want the patients to choose their path, whether they want to get the vaccine, don't want to get it. We're never going to sit there and suggest or push something forcefully on people. That's not what we do as Americans. And RFK Jr. basically just told the CDC to stop pushing the vaccine on pregnant women and children. I never wanted my children to get the vaccine. It's only been out for, 1, 2, 3 possible years. It's not something I want my children on unless there's long-term data. And there is not long-term data. And now we're starting to hear some of these side effects or long-term effects that are coming out. It's scary. It's scary for the children and it's scary for the pregnant women. And they want to sue RFK Jr. and HHS over this because they want to push this vaccine. It's unfortunate, but that's the era we live in now.
Right, and a lot of people, like I was just mentioning, are waking up to this, and a lot of people don't want the vaccines for themselves or for their children, so they're going to alternative routes. People don't trust Big Pharma. They just don't. And then you have companies like yours who are there for the American people. I want to go back and look at your website. I know we talked about the buy one, get one on the ivermectin. What else do you have to offer for the American people out there?
Yeah, so outside of the sale, we have plenty of other medications, new groundbreaking medications coming out. We have methylene blue, which RFK Jr. suggested. It's become a very popular medication. It does have cancer support properties. It's keeping the cells alive. It's helping your body fight cancer and other diseases. We have the NAD+, one of my favorite new medications, very similar to methylene blue. It is great for keeping your mind sharp, keeping those cells alive, and the neuroprotective properties when it comes to dementia, Alzheimer's. These are serious conditions as we get older, and we want to prevent that. We want to try to do everything we can to keep our mind, at an all-time high, especially the average American. The average American works. They want to work. They want to make money. These types of medications are gonna help you throughout the course of the day. And even just a simple antibiotic so that when you get one of these infections, it's not lasting 5 to 7 days. You can fight it within day 1 or day 2 and you're ready to go back. The CDC and the FDA 3-4 years ago wanted us to sit home and hide in our rooms for 7 days. Nobody has time to hide, especially when you have work to do, when people have jobs, they have families to support. And, that's something that we've been pushing for a long time, is just to try to have a little bit of medication on hand for the inevitable.
And Michael, I'm looking at your website, and I know all about you and your pharmacy, All Family Pharmacy, and very trustworthy, very good at what you do. You have the common goals, as we all do here at the network. Are you finding that there are trust issues? People are hesitant because they just don't trust after COVID-19 especially. And then you look at the vaccines with young children. Parents are turning away from them, not getting their children vaccinated. So when you go to a pharmacy, they want to jump in and start purchasing. how do you convince people that this is the way to go? Because I firmly believe that it is. I'm jumping on that BOGO sale before it ends today. What do you tell people who might be on the fence about really committing to this?
Yeah, so we always suggest to do your own research before you come to us. It's something that'll make yourself comfortable. We truly want to be there as a supporting partner for you, and we want to give you the medication as safely and effectively as possible. We have so many patients who first come to us with doubts, and then we change those doubts within 72 hours. Our biggest line of business is word to word. We started from neighbors and family members talking to each other. Oh, you have to go check out this pharmacy. You have to see them. And they call us directly and they still have doubts. We tell them, go check us out on the Florida Department of Health website. You know, we're a regulated pharmacy. We're like your CVS or your Walgreens next door to you. We have the same medications that they have, except, you know, ours are going to come to you safely and effectively without using insurance, without preventing you from being able to only purchase 10 tablets at a time or 20 tablets at a time. We're going to give you the freedom to purchase as many as you need, as long as it's within a 1-year supply. And then we have the license to back it up, and we have the professional doctors to back it up, as well as pharmacists. Every doctor that we bring on has the medical freedom thought. Every pharmacist we bring on has the medical freedom thought. They all have similar thinking to our patients, and they just want to help you make the right decisions. They're not going to push you on one specific drug or one specific vaccine. Even though we don't do vaccines, we're not going to push one simple thing on you. We're going to give you options, and we're going to let you do the research, make your decision, and then we're going to teach you how to use it safely and effectively.
All right, Michael, good to see you. That's all the time we have for Spin Room today. Everyone go to allfamilypharmacy.com, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.